If you're a sports fan, make sure you go check out SportsCastr for all of your sports needs. Whether you're a football fan, basketball fan, or baseball fan, this app is the perfect way to get news for your team and is an app I personally use myself in case any of you guys want to check out my pregame, halftime, or postgame streams. I'll leave a link in the description below. What is up, Pats Nation? It's Patriots Global back here with another video, and in this one, I'm going to talk about a player that I think the New England Patriots need to re-add to their offense in order to revamp things up. So, by the title, you can already tell that I am thinking that the New England Patriots need to re-sign former Patriots tight end Dwayne Allen. Now, I already know that I'm going to get blasted in the comments, he didn't do anything for us. Why would you bring him back? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. We don't need him. And look, he's not going to help in the receiving aspect, but he's going to help in an aspect that the Patriots desperately need in offense right now. So, if you don't know who Dwayne Allen is, basically he was a former Indianapolis Colt. The Patriots traded for him a couple of years ago, in which he spent 2 seasons here with the Patriots. This was after Martellus Bennett had departed from the team. Dwayne Allen was always a respectable tight end, coming out of college, was always a respectable tight end by coaches, players, and everyone throughout the league. Put up all right numbers, he put up numbers such as 500 yards, 400, 200 yards like that, but that never even closely translated to New England. Another reason a lot of people like him is because when Deflategate was happening, Dwayne Allen was a guy who actually stuck up for the Patriots, even when he was a member of the Colts. He also was never a tight end that really wowed you with his size. He visibly was not built like a receiving threat tight end. He was always more of a bigger tight end when you look at his build. Now, height-wise, he brought decent height, but nothing too special. We're not comparing to Travis Kelce, a Matt LaCosse, Rob Gronkowski type of guy. He only sits at 6'3", but no matter what, still brings some pretty nice height there to the tight end position. During the 2 seasons that he spent with the New England Patriots, he had just 13 catches for 126 yards and 1 touchdown in a total of 29 games. Also, in the 6 playoff games that he played here with New England, he had 0 targets and 0 catches. So basically, even though he was our second tight end on the depth chart, when Rob Gronkowski was on the team, he really was our only tight end, okay? Because Dwayne Allen really was not getting passes thrown his way. And when there were games where Rob Gronkowski was either suspended or he had to miss a game for illness or injury, and we had to ride with just Dwayne Allen, the Patriots did not use their tight ends in the passing game. Now, he was still signed under contract here with the Patriots, but he was going to take up a very large number, and for him putting up really no number statistically, there was no use in bringing on that, I believe, $9 million for this upcoming season, especially when the Patriots had a lot of moves that they needed to make for this offseason. So ultimately, what they did is they let him go, and the interesting thing is, even after they let him go, there was still a lot of interest between the Patriots and Dwayne Allen on a possible reunion, but the terms of the deal obviously would be him coming back for a much less deal than previously before. Now, the thing about Dwayne Allen, though, is that he did take a bit of a pay cut here for the Patriots in his time with the team, but obviously not big enough. I mean, again, the cap hit that he was going to take for this season was just unbelievable. A short while after the Patriots released him, news came out that the Miami Dolphins had signed him. Patriots' former defensive coach, that's linebacker coach Brian Flores, now the head coach of the Dolphins, really decided to hop on to the former Patriot. Now, sadly for Dwayne Allen, this did not last very, very long at all, because he ended up getting released by the Dolphins with an injury settlement. And the thing about Dwayne Allen also is that he actually underwent a surgery this offseason. So, really a big part of why the Miami Dolphins let him go. Now, of course, not the only reason. He wasn't a tight end that really stuck out for the Dolphins by any means, but really the big reason here was the fact that he was still dealing with an injury, and he is still currently a free agent despite being released weeks and weeks and weeks ago. But I think the point is just him really trying to get healthy before, of course, signing with another team. And the other thing here is that a bunch of teams are not hopping here on Dwayne Allen, okay? He's not one of the top tight ends in the league. He's not a top tight end here on the market. Of course, his resume for being a former New England Patriot is what's going to make a lot of teams more interested in him. But again, there are no teams dodging to try to get him. After Dwayne Allen was released by the Patriot, he actually came out in an interview basically just talking about it, and he said that the New England Patriots have younger guys that they want to invest more time in, so they decided to let me go, but he appreciates the opportunity and everything that the New England Patriots had done for him. He was very thankful for the opportunity he had no matter what, despite him being released, but in the end, obviously, he knew that the Patriots and him just were not on the same page. He wasn't producing enough to make the money that he was due for this upcoming season, and also wasn't doing enough for Bill Belichick to be like, okay, I'm going to waste a roster spot on you unless you're going to take that cap hit down a lot. All in all, too, I think Dwayne Allen knew that he wasn't really being used to his full potential. If you look at, him playing with the Colts, he put up, again, fairly decent numbers for a tight end. Never, 1,000 yards, never 800, 900, anything like that. But again, few hundred yards, respectable numbers, kind of came to New England and couldn't even put up 50 yards on a season. Tom Brady is very picky about who he goes to, especially if you break his trust, if you're unable to gain Tom Brady's trust. So that in itself was not something that was really going in Dwayne Allen's just not really going his way. So there's a lot of other teams that he could go to that I'm sure the quarterbacks would be more likely to go his way. So why should the New England Patriots sign him after everything I just talked about? Doesn't sound like a guy you really want on the team. Well, Dwayne Allen is actually one of the best blocking tight ends in the entire league, and it really helped establish the Patriots' run game last season when you had a dominant offensive line. You had Rob Gronkowski, the best run blocker in the NFL, and then you had, again, another one of the best run blockers in the NFL with Dwayne Allen. Now you look at what the Patriots have, and they don't have Gronk, okay? They don't have Dwayne Allen, so those are your two top-tier blocking tight ends out of the equation. Now you're looking at your center. He's out for the season. Currently, your left tackle is out. And for a short period of time, our right tackle was out of the game also. This run game is having a very tough time being established, having a very tough time getting going, and we have the talent. By all means, we have the versatility at the running back position. We saw it last year, and it is definitely, without a doubt, gotten better and improved even since last year with additions such as Damien Harris and guys being more healthy and still playing with Rex Burkhead. Not to mention that you also have our running back or fullback, James Devlin, who could potentially be out for the season. I'll be making a video on this, but keep in mind he was placed on the IR. Patriots can only bring back 2 players from the IR the entire season, and they currently have 3 main guys there on the IR, not to mention any guys that they could potentially put on for the rest of the season. Bringing in a top-tier blocking tight end could help the Patriots in so many ways. That and the fact that it helps them in pass protection. It helps them, again, in getting the run game going. And all in all, what the Patriots need right now is better blockers, especially in the run game. And look, right now, the Patriots really aren't even utilizing their tight ends. Your top tight end currently for our first 3 games has been Matt LaCosse, and we've barely seen anything out of him because of the injuries he's been going through. You've seen more of Ryan Izzo. He's made a play here and there, but without a doubt, if Dwayne Allen came in, he would be your number 1 tight end until Ben Watson was to come back. With the non-factor of Rob Gronkowski, you're also looking at the potential of Dwayne Allen having a bigger role here with the Patriots. Now, of course, we have seen in the past where Gronk hasn't been in games and Dwayne Allen hasn't really, risen to expectations, but now we're talking about the Patriots really not having much of any tight ends, and just in a very different position than they have been in the past couple of years. In the end, having a familiar face around, the locker room, having a familiar face on the field for Tom Brady and a guy that he has some sort of connection and chemistry with due to past experiences could really help benefit the team. Our offensive line could potentially continue to have issues, could potentially still be juggling. Obviously, the position at center is going to continue to stay the same. We're going to have to see if Isaiah Wynn is able to come back. Hopefully Shaq Mason can pick up his game because he's really been lacking. And then everybody else there, let's just see how that falls into place. But that's going to be it for today's video. I really believe that the New England Patriots need to re-sign Dwayne Allen. Again, not for the reason of him contributing in the receiving game, because that's not my expectations for him at all, but him coming in as a sole purpose, full-on blocker here, a very good, high-end experienced blocker. And I think that that could really help change this offense and their dynamic and really help the team out a lot. But that is it for today's video. What are your guys' thoughts on Dwayne Allen? Do you think the Patriots should re-sign him? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments below. Also, make sure you guys like and subscribe if you not have already. Make sure you guys also share this video with everybody who knows Swing with the Patriots Global family. Other than that, I will catch you guys in another video.